2. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and welcome to another edition of Minds to Wealth with incredible Ali Shahraki and, of course, Bradley Chapman. Today, we are going to be talking about how important it is to get the right people around you in your life. So let's just set the scene. So I think personally, there's been a incredibly major shift in the way that we view marketing on Facebook, the way that we view marketing on LinkedIn and on YouTube. Now, as many of us will know, we all will know, if you're familiar with social media, it's all based around advertising. Everything is based around advertising, no matter what you do now. LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, it's all about advertising. It's all about picking up your interest based needs and being marketed to. And Ali and me have been talking this week quite heavily about the shift and the change in marketing and how people market to you with these life-changing scenarios, which I personally think there's been a massive change. Now, I know Ali feels the same way about this. And I know Ali, with his program, Minds to Wealth, and with his book, he actually really wants something that's congruent, something that's real, something that really can help people. But, you know, we were talking about the people around us. Yesterday, we're going through some book chapters, and we were talking about how important it is to get people around us. And you said, let's talk about that today, getting the right people around you. So, Ali, tell us a little bit about why it's so important to get the right people around you and how that can impact and affect you.
Well, thank you for today, Bradley. But I've been thinking really deeply about this subject last few days as well, because my life changed when I started changing the friend around me. You know, I had a life coach, and one day, this is the start of it, he called me one day and he said to me, I want you to come to the Simpson restaurant. Now, Simpson restaurant in Birmingham is a very expensive restaurant, and only like rich people go there and very famous people go there. And I'm thinking, like, why is he inviting me there? Like, it's going to cost a lot of money to go to that restaurant. So I went there and I said, what do you want? He said, we got a meeting today with few important people. Now I'm thinking, you know, who's going to be there? What's going to happen? I'm really panicking. Like, you know, I never met anybody important or anybody like famous or, you know, anybody who's rich or got money or something. Like, I usually meet normal people, you know. So we went inside this restaurant, and I know it's going to cost at least £400-500 when you go in this restaurant. And I'm thinking, is it going to make me to buy something? I'm thinking, like, no, don't buy anything. Don't buy no food. Don't order anything. Just sit there, maybe just orange juice or something. And I know even orange juice is like £110, one glass of orange juice, just because of the class and the name of it. They use that as a filter to not to let normal people come in. They want just different class of people come there, right? So I went there, and suddenly I saw 5 or 6 people came in. One of the top lawyers in Birmingham, one of the very close people in the city council person, you know, a judge, you know, very important people, few important people, business people, few billionaires, you know, they came there, sit around the table, start talking. Nobody even recognized me or talked to me, or like, they completely ignored me. And I'm sitting there, they're talking to each other. I'm thinking, like, why am I sitting here? My life coach suddenly, after, you know, half an hour or so, they ordered food and everything. He nudged me with his elbow and he said to me, Ali, go and make a payment. I said, pay for what? He said, pay for a bill for a table. I said, you joking with me? He said, go and pay the table. I said, this table is at least $5,000. I haven't got $5,000. He said, just go and pay the table. I'm thinking, this guy, he's just going to scam me like this. You know, my wife is going to kill me. You know, what's going to happen? Anyway, I knew him for many years, and I know he's very successful as well. So I went and I paid the bill. When I paid the bill, there is a price you have to pay when you want to shift to go to something else. This was my price I had to pay. As soon as I paid the bill, when I came back, they said, okay, can we call for a bill? And my coach said to me, the bill has been paid. Who paid the bill? Ali paid the bill. Huh? All these people suddenly said, who's Ali? Who paid the bill? Let's go talk to him, right? Each one of them is spending 15, 20 minutes with me, getting to know me, what I'm doing, what business I do, giving me their own personal number. No way you would have found a personal number anywhere. Giving me their personal number to call them. And many times, one of the deal I made, like, you know, on a property, £30,000 just, I made profit because he was involved and he made a good deal for me because he knew the contacts. So it's all about who you know and who you're, like, you know, in contact with. And I know I paid £5,000, but I think that was the best money I paid. And when I came out, my coach said to me, are you really upset? I said, yeah, because I just had to pay this money. He said to me, but what did you gain instead? Your phone only worth £1,000, but now the contact you have in this phone, it worth over £10,000 because the people, the contact you have in there. Then I realized, what is he talking about? Because still I couldn't see no money coming in. But when I went to the problem, trying to buy that property, and I faced the problem, then he said to me, call this person. I called that person. With one phone call, he solved my problem. He saved me £30,000.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
it's all about normal people, normal friend around me, normal family member. They couldn't solve that problem.
Absolutely. So many people
around you. And
so many people struggle with knowing what's good for them and having really great people around them, you know, associating in the right circles that can make a major, you know, positive impact in your life. And there's so many times where so many of us get stuck in a circle. And I've been there where you're attracting, and it's down to you actually, what you're attracting. You know, you are what you attract. And you can attract people into your life that really have got a negative influence on your life because there's a negative position inside them and they can really hold you back. And I think it's to do with the way that you send, what message you're sending out, how you act, how you behave, to what you resonate, that determines, you know, what you attract. But I think it's fair to say that if we can get the right people in our lives, that you're never going to be short of a number or a contact to call to ask for help or advice or to do a deal. The power of your phone book is quite incredible. But a lot of people don't feel worthy. When they're on a journey of growth, they don't feel worthy. And I always remember Alfie, you know, taking me on a 3-day helicopter trip. And we'd been working together for about 6 months before COVID. And he came up to me and said, Bradley, I'm going to go on a business trip for 3 days. Do you want to come? I'm taking the helicopter. We're going to be doing quite a few drops and visits. And I can remember meeting with some individuals with Alfie, having dinner with them in a hotel. And they invited me in to come and have dinner with them. And, you know, I was thinking, why is Alfie, you know, at the dinner table? These are his friends, etc. And he said to me, Bradley, I'd rather be a pauper at a king's table than a king at a pauper's table, because the pauper will always eat, but the king will always starve. Now, that's not saying, you know, I'm a pauper. I'm not. But when you're surrounding yourself with a much higher level of individual,
pull you up.
They will lift you up, right? But also there's this thing that sometimes you can feel that you don't belong there. But I do feel that I belong there because of the contributions I make and the shifts that I'm making. But we've got people watching right now that are going to be at different levels, Ali. We're going to have people watching that they're in moments of doubt, maybe starting a new business or making an adjustment in their life from COVID. We've got people that are watching that are quite comfortable where they're at and their circle. And we've got people that are really sort of accelerating and they know the answers to all of this already because they're doing it. Which ones should we focus on first of all to help? The ones who's really struggling, the ones that's in the middle, or the ones that's got everything cracked?
I love this question because this is what I've been thinking about. I've been watching so much videos, and you know, people calling Tony Robbins fake and calling that one fake. And listen, we have two type of people. We have hopeful people, which they get on with life, they start doing something, they launch a new business, they go and do something, and they give hope to other people, like Santa Claus, like Jesus, like, you know, other religious people who they give hope to people and make people to be happy, right? Anybody or anything who gives hope to people. Or we have dream killers. I call them dream killers, which they walk around and they just full of nag. Oh, this is not real. This is fake. This is a spam. You know, this is not going to work. Don't launch a business. Don't even get up in the morning. Why do you want to bother to get up? Because there's nothing to do. There is no hope out there. Which one do you want to be? Do you want to listen to that person? How do you think your life is going to be when you listen to that person who's telling you not to do anything, don't start anything, don't have no hope, none of this is real, Santa is dead, everybody? How do you feel about that? Is that the life you want to live? Right? You know, I rather to believe Santa is real, because at least I have one hope for Christmas. I'm looking forward to Christmas to see this guy, even though I haven't seen him ever. Right? You call me a kid, okay, call me a kid. But I rather to live in a life of hope, you know, to see something. I'm looking forward to something. Launch a business because I want to see that business succeed, right? So now when you are around people who, as soon as you say, I have this dream, I want to start this business, They tell you, leave it, you're not going to succeed in it, it's not going to work, it's all a scam, or it's not going to. Really, do you think you're going to start that business? Do you really think you're going to get anywhere when you have this much stone being thrown at you? No. That's why it's so important. People you have around you, people you're talking to, especially if you want to start a new business, especially if you want to start a new journey. You got to look up to people who they are on that journey. They started that journey and they are doing it. Be inspired.
Even the most successful and the most wealthiest of people in their private time, will turn around and talk to a trusted source to ask their advice and feedback. But there's one thing they've learned, very successful people, is they don't even give time to talk to people that don't understand, that haven't got the right mindset or haven't had the experience.
Absolutely.
So wealthy people have cracked it. The ones that are very successful, they know the difference between wasting time and energy on someone that really can't understand them, can't help them, or hasn't been there themselves. And I think Alfie said to me, he said, why would you want to walk into a pub where everybody's drinking and they think they know everything about football? He said everything. He said when people are watching football in the pub, they're football experts, right? They're football. They're not. He said
put
so.
them in the pitch, see which one of them can play.
So look, I mean, we were talking about this yesterday. You're going through a launch of a new project. You're going through a launch of a new book, and you were saying to me yesterday that that you want the program to be of value, but you was also concerned, and I get this as well, that people's expectation is really, really high, really high. We can't wait, Ali, for your new program, for your new training. Everybody's minds have been a little bit fried recently with COVID. So many people are looking for a new opportunity, a new change, a new shift, and we've all have dealt with COVID and lockdown, even though we're now open, and it's great to see people milling around. It's great to see people in the cars. It's really beautiful. So everybody goes through this stage. If they care about their business and they care about their teams and they care about their customers, they are going to care how they deliver. And I think also when you're going through something new, I think it takes so much courage that many people don't realize what courage and strength it takes. Because the other thing we spoke about, and this is about having the right people around you so you can talk, is people think that you can get rich quick, but you can't, right?
Impossible.
It takes a long time, Andy, doesn't it?
It's impossible. It's literally impossible. I did 15 years of research to everybody, like 50 rich people in the world, right? I read their life story, the processes, everything they went through. It's impossible to press a button and become rich. It's a process of seeing yourself in the next 10 years where you want to be and making that journey from today to that day. How long it took you to create those beliefs in your head? You got to reset all this, right? It's going to take same amount of time. It depends how quick you are, you're ready, at what point you are, how bad you want it also. But it's impossible to be rich overnight because, I met this guy, he's a millionaire, right? I said to him, where did you start? He said, from zero. And I said to him, how did you start? He said, I started with reading a book with Zig Ziglar. I said, Zig Ziglar is about mindset. It's got nothing to do with business. You have a factory. He said, Ali, to be able to imagine myself for today, I had to learn from Zig Ziglar, sort out my mind. Then I could imagine where I want to be, draw the map where I want to be, how I'm going to get there, and then I start the business. And I was thinking Zig Ziglar is a scam when he came out, right? I didn't even read his book. Now he's one of the mentors. He's right, because you had to draw the map, you had to know where you are going, you had to draw the vision to see where you want to be, how you want to look like, and then you just draw the map to get there. And that's, if I can share the I model with you guys, you can see we actually have it in there as well. Here you are. This is the I model, which is going to be inside the book, and is exactly the step I took to be able to get to where I am now. Here it says, raise your standard. And inside this raise your standard, it says be hungry, want to achieve something. And then it says environment. You got to sort out your environment. You got to sort out the people around you, your social environment, who's around you, who's saying what to you, right? This is so important to make sure. And again, here it comes to better yourself. You have the mission. You have to sort out your mission. What's your mission? What do you want from life? And we go through this model during this. Did they see the model? Did I share it? Or
Yeah. No, it came up. It's quite small. Whether people
yeah,
will be able
but
to
it's
see,
gonna be in
but
the book anyway, so they can see there. But this is a step, literally the step I took to be able to change my mind, and I had to block over 2,500 people on Facebook, literally even family members, because when I was coming up, they kept saying to me, "No, don't go. No, don't go. We can't see after the cloud." That's the thing. As an entrepreneur, you gotta see after the cloud. Everybody just see the cloud, but the entrepreneur, successful person, sees after the cloud,
yeah,
and it's very hard to see the after cloud.
yeah.
It's very hard.
And do you know where I think?
And when you don't
But,
see something, Bradley, it's very easy to call it a scam.
but I think there's a difference between somebody starting a business where they've got like a physical product or service. For example, somebody might be making. I saw this guy. This was a plumber in COVID, and he got locked down, and he started making all these hearts out of copper, and they're now called Copperhearts, the Copper Heart plumber, and he's got all these decorative hearts that he makes out of plumbing materials. It's incredible. So where I think people are starting these business where they've got a physical product or service, I think this is so beautiful. And I think where this whole, empowerment, personal trainers, wealth gurus and coaches, I think that's kind of fallen apart recently, because you've got the greats that have been there for a long time. And I think that there's a lot of people that's come through that think, well, actually, I'm going to write a book. I'm, going to become a guru. I'm going to become an expert. And actually, they probably don't have the skills or the qualification or the ability or the desire that really, truly is required to hang on during that growth period, to acquire that knowledge, to learn their product before they can actually physically apply it. And I know that you've gone through over 15 years of learning. And this moment for you with
that's what it makes me wonder when a 19 years old guru suddenly comes out on a YouTube and he starts talking about, let me teach you how to sort out your mind. It took me literally 15 years of research to just learn what it takes to get to this level. And the guy is only 19 years old. Dude, just go back to high school. Seriously. Learn your science, I don't know, or chemistry.
How do you, you talked about letting go of people that didn't serve you anymore, there's a moment when you realize, actually, when you're developing yourself, you're moving forward, you're raising your standard, you're meeting new people. Those people are people that are successful. You're associating, rubbing shoulders with more successful people, which is the way that you move forward and why you connect, because you want to be socialized with successful people. And then you've got to let go a load of people that don't serve you anymore. For me, that's quite easy now, because I realize what a waste of time it is spending energy with people that actually just not on the same level, where they're negative or they want to pull you down. But moving forward into that really good circle of amazing people, it's a great feeling, right?
Yeah, it is a great feeling. And yesterday I shared a post on Facebook. I don't know if you saw it or not. I've been a friend with somebody for 15 years, and because I love this person and I always wanted to help him, I thought he loves me the same way. But I realized yesterday he sent me a text message, and he was in a very rude manner. He says to me he wants to get access to my Forex program, and he wants to have it for free, for example. And he said to me, I haven't seen anything from you. This is your chance. Show me you are worthy of our friendship. I said, I'm tired of showing off to people. You are done. You are on a block list. Done. Do you know why? Last 15 years, I taught him how to become a driving instructor. I paid 4,000 for program. The guy, he followed me. He became a driving instructor. So he didn't pay nothing to become a driving instructor. He literally follows my footstep. I trained him to pass his test to be a taxi driver. I trained his wife to pass his driving license. He didn't pay none of this. I lent him money to go and sort out the problem he had with his mother-in-law. He didn't pay that money back. And still, he wants me to give. How many times can I prove our friendship? This is a one-side relationship, isn't it? He's just taking, and not giving nothing. A relationship, a friendship is when Bradley is giving something, I'm giving something. You give something, I give something. We recharge each other.
Yeah.
You have to be aware of this. Who's around you? I literally had to block so many people. And this guy, he just went through the filter every time, because I don't know, somehow he made me feel like guilty to block him, but it wasn't me. It was him. And finally, yesterday, I found the courage, because of this, what we are doing now, and talking to you actually, I found the courage, you know what? I'm going to block this guy. I had enough of him. and I feel so light. I don't feel him in my shoulder anymore.
Yeah. It's like dead weight. Getting rid of dead weight.
It's very hard to get rid of people and
Get rid
say
of dead weight.
sometimes you feel like you are a nice person, but people think you are a fool.
Well, people can take advantage of a good nature, but let's move on slightly in this discussion to, having the right people around you. You and I are at the same stage in new projects that we're both working on. You've got a new project underway with Minds to Wealth and your new book, awakening your mental and financial wealth. And I've got something new going on, which is on our business coaching side. Now, I've been a business coach for many, many years, but after this call, I've got a phone call with a couple of dear friends, and we're going to be speaking about launching a company together as a partnership alongside Alfie Best. Now, my friends have all gone through this emotion. They're all working in their own businesses. Dear friends, one I've known 15 years, one I've known about 6 friends have become very close friends. I trust their characters and personalities. I love them. I'm going to start a company together, and we all have got some element of doubt. And that element of doubt, and I said to the guys yesterday, we're only going to deal with that element of doubt when we get online and do our call and talk it through.
Yeah.
And I think by talking it through to collectively as 3 people, collectively, we will find the right answer. There's many times in business, and I've experienced this, so have you, where you're the CEO of your company. And I think the worst thing you can do, and I'm the victim and culprit of this as well, is where you keep and control all your thoughts and all your emotions to yourself without reaching out to someone and saying, actually, look, this is how I feel. I mean, Alfie is very tough on me. Alfie's tough love. There's no, you can imagine growing up in a caravan, a gypsy, if I was to say, Alfie, it's cold, Alfie just slapped me around the face, you understand? So there's the right people you can speak to for the right reason.
Yeah.
There's no moaning and groaning, but if I go to Alfie with constructive business or strategy, he says, book in a time, come in, sit down, we chat. So anything that's based around business that I want to talk to him about, I can. But there are times where it's quite simply, he's just too busy. He's just too busy and running the different companies. So then I can find myself, and I think audience might appreciate this. If you keep your own thoughts inside yourself, you sometimes can be your worst enemy.
Yeah.
Because then your negative feeling can creep in, and all of a sudden you get a little bit down.
Yeah.
The best thing is to make sure you've got good people around you that when you are experiencing some challenge of your mind, feel comfortable to let it out and say, look, this is how I'm feeling. Talk it through. What do you think? Do you think that's right? Is it important about that?
You know what? Every life coach, every performance coach also has a coach. I have a coach myself. I was really angry because last few months it's been going so much so much money I've been losing because of the wrong contract I've been signing on to. And I'm really angry as well because I'm losing this money, right? And I wrote a very angry email to this lady. And then she said, hold on, you keep writing this email to me. I'm going to use those and say you're harassing me. So I am really angry because I'm losing this much money, right? And they are just taking the money away and they are not delivering the service. So I went to my coach and he said to me, can I ask you something? I want you to write me 11 emails and tell me what you want to say to her. So I wrote email, I wrote everything I wanted to say, all my anger, right, inside those emails, and I sent it. He said, now, can you send me the email number 12 and then say what you want to say to her? There was no anger there anymore. So I literally just write down, this is a receipt. I've made a payment. I hope this matter is resolved. He said, send this email to her now. He literally saved me, because if I would have continued with my anger with that person, I would have caused more problem for myself.
Fire on fire. What a good coach does is he puts water.
Very simple.
On the fire, right? Puts water on the fire. We all do that. We all get times where we get frustrated.
Everybody,
we lash out, right? We all do that. But if you've got the right people around you, it makes a complete difference. So when you get frustrated, who do you call? When you get frustrated, who do you speak to? Who do you reach out to?
I have people. One of them is you. I empty myself on you.
We've got to do something, right? It's about moving forward. Right. I got frustrated this morning before coming to work And do you know when I normally get really frustrated? It's normally when I'm tired. And I think this is quite an important thing to talk about, because if when I'm working long hours, or, you know, family, life, children, whatever the case may be, my own stuff going on, if I get tired from, you know, lack of sleep, working hard, I'm probably the worst person. I think also it's knowing when to stand back when you're tired, to recharge, so you refresh. Otherwise, it's, I'm tired. You get grouchy, you stop biting at people, right? You
So
start
like, I
biting.
realized last night, you know what? If I had 2 hours of sleep every night. Last night was the night I had to have 12 hours of sleep. So I went to bed like 11 o'clock. I closed everything, just to sleep. You know?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I did the same thing. The girls, picked the girls up from London last night. By the time I got home, I was quite tired. I think my eldest, Molly, wanted to watch a film. Oh, Dad, let's watch a horror film. And I was like, I'm so tired. So actually I said, I need to lie down and go to sleep. And I think within half an hour of lying down, I think I was asleep. The next minute, I think one of my daughters come and put a blanket. I felt a blanket coming over me. But listen, I think to stay focused and to get yourself around some incredible people is refuel. It's a really positive refuel, you know, just as much as I look forward to speaking with you. And I'm also as well really quietly, willing you on with this program and with this book, because I know, and I know that some people don't know, but I do know exactly what you're going through, because I'm going through it too. And I know what it takes. I know the strength. I know the courage. I know the challenges. And I know that sometimes we feel that people just don't understand us. But I know how tough it is. And I know that you want to break through. And for me personally, with Minds to Wealth and what this course is going to be for you, I really feel that you've got some really good people around you at the moment, but I'm not sure if you're really aware of just how good they are. And what I mean by that, before you think about it, is I've got some really great people around me, some really great people, but I don't think I fully realize just how important a part they're going to play in my life from this part forward. You know, when you're working, you're building, you're strategizing, right?
You have to step up. You have to go to the next. For example, why do I want to be in a circle of friends with Alfie, for example? Why? Because this guy has done what I want to do. I am on my way up. I, paid all my debt off. I start to achieve the first level of financial freedom. I want to get to the next level. To be able to get to the next level, right? I need a new accountant. I need a new tax advisor. I need a new people around me, because my old accountant doesn't know how to do my account, because he only knows how to tell me to save money. And he literally made me to lose over £80,000 last year in July, which I could have made money. He disappeared because he didn't know what to say to me. So knowing Alfie, I know I can phone Alfie and say, Alfie, who's your accountant? Can you tell me who's your accountant so I can speak to your accountant, to your tax advisor, because you done this. You managed to get to £500,000, or £500 million. So tell me which accountant is helping you, because definitely his accountant is thinking different to mine.
But you know what, on that, with accountants, he uses different accountants for different things. You know, you've got people that are specialists in park homes, people that are specialists in Barbados properties. There are.
I didn't know that. Now I have 3 accountants, and I have a head tax advisor on top of these 3.
Yeah, Alfie always says you've got to go to the specialist. You've got to go to the specialist. And he said that you have to become the specialist. He said that we become the specialist in park homes before, we decided to do other businesses, because it was Wildcrest Parks. Just stayed on message. And now there's Varun, Motorhome Hire, there's the football clubs, the mining clubs and golf clubs, etc. now, and they're all in synergy with the main business.
Contact. He's finding more people, right? So when I need help, I'm gonna say, Bradley, can you ask Alfie, who can I contact about this? It's all about who you know.
And Alfie says he doesn't invest in businesses, he invests in people. He invests in people. We had a guy down a couple of weeks ago that come in and sat in a board meeting with Alfie, like what we call an exploratory, a business consultancy coaching thing, because we're about to put out now that Alfie's going to be joining the boards of about 6 to 12 companies. He's putting himself forward as a non-executive director and chairman. It's about to go live on LinkedIn the next couple of days. So what Alfie's saying now is, look, he said, I want to try and pick about 12 companies. I'll join their board as a non-executive director, and I will help them to steer their company. I'll be in there with Alfie alongside him, which I'll do the running around and the background within the companies. But how cool is that? But it's not just about any old company turning up saying, Alf, can you join our board of directors? We have to meet and see if there's the right fit and the right synergy with the people to make sure they've got the right motivation, the right energy.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we're going to be wasting time. So, audience, if you're watching right now, this is Ali Shahraki and Bradley Chapman. This is Ali's show, which is Minds to Wealth. Just in a couple of weeks' time now, the show will be converting onto Ali's Facebook page, which is at Minds2 Wealth, where please do go and connect and make sure that you're liking the Minds to Wealth page. Ali is currently writing a book, which you can see on screen right now, which is Awakening Your Mental and Financial Wealth. Now, this is taken so much courage and strength from Ali, because he's taken 15 years of training, education and personal development. He's taken 11 years since his motorbike accident, where he had an awakening experience, the need to change, and since last 5-6 years he's been trading successfully and profitably in the foreign exchange world under the School of Trading. And in fact, if you're interested in signing up for one of Ali's forex training programs, just visit School of Trading or direct message Ali now. He's an incredible foreign exchange teacher, and he's been coached and trained by some world-leading greats, including Tony Robbins and many more, Richard Bandler. He's educated himself, and now he is creating in this next few weeks his own program, his Mind to Wealth program, to help you move your life, your mind and your wealth forward. And some of you will be joining his Minds to Wealth course, where he'll be helping you to understand your mind, untangle your mind, sort your mind out, make sure you've got the right levels of energy and positivity. And he's created an incredible system, which is all based around his I rebirth model, which shows very clearly in a number of steps what it is we have to do. Today, we are talking about getting the right people around us. If you had a bad experience where you've had a network of friends and they've kept you down, if you had a bad experience where you allowed yourself to remain in a pool of toxic people, it's time for you to get up and out. It's time for you to engage in positive mindset and attitude, moving yourself forward into the new you, your new group of friends, your new group of business acquaintances, because it's in that moment that you decide to shift, to move forward, that things are really going to start changing on your life. But Ali, they're not going to change instantly, are they? So it's not a get rich quick scheme. How long does it take to become successful within this transition of mind and the way that we think? Is it overnight, or does it take time?
Can I ask you one question? How long it took you to be depressed?
50 years.
Yeah, here you are. So it took you 50 years to mess up your mind. Of course, it's going to take you many years to sort out your mind as well. It's a process. It's a progress. We put you in line. We put you on track. And then is your consistency, and you keep doing it, which is going to give you the result. Same as losing weight, right? People don't lose weight because they go to gym for 1 week and then they give up.
It's true. It's absolutely true. And there's going to be a moment where things are going to get tough, where you're going to doubt yourself, where you're going to think to yourself that actually, I'm not making this work. What do we do at that time? What do we do at that moment when we're doubting ourselves, when it's not quite working? What do we do at that point? How do we get ourselves back on track? To speak to someone?
First of all, get in touch to somebody who's been there, a coach or something. Like if you have somebody, family member who's been there, is done this, fine. They can coach you. If you think they can coach you, let them try it, right? Or get in touch with somebody who's professional. I have a life coach. Last 15 years, last 12 years, I've been having a life coach myself, right? Every coach has a coach. Don't even think it's just Ali having a coach. I'm sure Bradley has a coach. Everybody has a coach. It's impossible to make. Mother Teresa had a coach, all the successful fighters, boxers, every single one of them have a life coach, because they have to sort out the way they think. And also remind yourself of why are you here? Why did you start this journey? Because it's very easy to give up. The hardest part is continue going until you see result. And that's why you need somebody to help you to move forward. And I call it somebody grab your ear and pull you. That's what my coach does.
It's true, isn't it? Even my daughters, I learned so much from my daughters, because, they're sitting opposite me in the office, but do you know they never moan? They never, ever moan.
That's a skill itself.
They never moan. Oh, dad, this. Oh, dad, that. You know, we've been through a bit of a challenging time recently, but they never moan. They never, ever moan. And you know, some kids just moan all the time.
Mm.
And there's a strength in that. There's a strength in not moaning, even though they may be feeling it inside.
Yeah.
And I look at them some days and I think, my God, they're so strong mentally. They might be, you know, dealing with it, internalizing it and thinking about it internally, but
That's the
it's
thing. They have
really
to learn
strong.
also it's okay to say how they feel and talk about their feeling, but being a moaner 24/7 is not
Oh,
going.
nobody likes a moaner,
No,
right?
no, but
You
it's
know,
okay to talk about your feeling. Short, like if I'm mourning about something, it's okay to mourn about something in a short period. But I've got to learn to move on, to move forward, go to the next level.
yeah,
The bad thing and the danger thing is to live there
yeah, absolutely.
and live to be a mourner.
100%.
You're never
What
gonna
about
go forward
what
anymore.
about inspiration? When I speak to Alfie, and I've got a concept or an idea, I have to be very careful the way that I deliver it to him because I have to think it through. And when I go to Alfie, really my job is to really think about every single angle that I can, do you know, before I go to him. And if I go to him and suggest something, but I've not fully thought it through, he will always find the one thing that I haven't thought through. And he will say, well, what about that? And I'm like, oh, I knew that. I should have thought about that. And
That's a
another
good
time,
thing to have a coach. Somebody
you
they
know,
see in a different angle.
always keeping me, you know, on point, always, and also humbling me as well. You know, I got a call the other day from someone and they said, you know, and we get this all the time. You know, I've got £700,000 to invest, and the money's coming through in 3 months, and we'd like you to manage the funds and everything else. And you know, and when somebody calls you and they've got funds that they're putting across the table, you know, it's exciting, it's nice, isn't it? But you know, only 1 in 10 of those ever really come off because something's not going to be right. And every time I go through to Alfie and I talk to him about a potential project, he'll always bring me down really to a humbling
And you know what?
position,
It's okay,
to
brother,
see the
because
sense
you
of
can't
you.
get on with everybody. You have to understand there are people you can get on with, there are people you can't get on with. And
Yeah,
the money can't change that. It doesn't matter if I bring £2 billion to the table, if me and you we can't get on,
yeah.
there's no point in starting this business.
No, because it's like sandpaper.
Yeah.
It's like sandpaper. It's grating. But I also think, you know, as we move forward and we start building partnerships, I think there is a moment when you're going to have sandpaper.
That's normal. Like having a soft fun is okay, but if you're grinding 24/7 and you're literally having an argument which is like separating you from each other, that's not business.
Now that's like a bad relationship with a wife or a girlfriend, or you know, family, or bad relationship in business. It's the same thing. It's got a negative impact. But I think everybody, when they start to build relationships, has to have a little bit of sandpaper because
Yeah,
that's when you get to know
Bradley,
the good and bad.
find a business partner, find a friend is exactly same as find a wife. Seriously, it's exactly like relationship. You
Yeah,
don't just open the door, go outside, and the first girl you saw say to them, "Can you marry me?" Right? You have your criteria, you have your checklist. I've got this checklist. Do I see these things in this girl? Now I'm gonna ask her to marry me. Right? It takes you 20 years to ask someone to marry you. Right? But how can we just open the door and just go and find somebody to be our friend when we don't even know who they are and what they are doing? How do you know they have their best interest in your heart? Sometimes your own wife is the obstacle on your progress. You need to understand she's doing that out of love,
yeah.
but also lack of knowledge.
I think that gut instinct comes in. I don't know how you feel about this, and if audience is watching, how they feel about gut instinct. But when I meet someone or I'm in a certain circumstance, my stomach is always telling me
Mm.
whether it's right or whether it's wrong, or it feels good or it doesn't feel. My stomach always gives me my just gut instinct, tells me whether this could be a decent relationship. Every time I don't listen to my gut instinct or my stomach, it's painful because the synergy, you know, isn't aligned. Listen, business isn't personal to a certain degree. Otherwise, if you made everything personal about business, you probably wouldn't grow.
Yeah.
You know, there's some areas of business, but relationships that you can choose and getting the right people around you, I think using your gut instinct can really serve you well.
Yeah.
That built-in gut compass.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you think?
Some people they make a wrong relationship because they are dying to be loved,
Yeah.
And the first person comes across, they say, oh my god, this is how I felt about this guy 15 years ago. He was my first friend I found here, and I didn't want to let him go. I found many people after him, like, they are my friend, but this guy, I didn't want to let him go because he was my first friend I met, right? So I had that special bond with him, but I realized he's just eating me.
Yeah.
He's not the right person. I had to let go. And you're absolutely, sometimes we make the wrong decision based on we just need somebody to love us.
Yeah.
Agreed. And it's because of love.
Agreed. Last night I was watching, just as I fell asleep, I was watching an American medical series, and it's called New Amsterdam, and it's about this kind of breakthrough hospital in America, and it's kind of in real time at the moment. Everybody's come out of COVID, and the hospital needs to generate fees, otherwise it's going to go bust. And the hospital chief, is trying to interview all the surgeons and get them to talk about, getting people back to the hospital. And they're trying to get people, the doctors and the surgeons, to say, look, it's safe to come back, and we'll do, your elective surgeries, etc., etc. And the doctors didn't feel that. They felt that people were, concerned, worried about coming into hospital, that they could catch COVID, that there is a risk. And because of that, they weren't coming back to hospital for their surgeries. And this lady had cancer and missed 3 treatments. She ended up dying. And the hospital administrators, they were, determined to put out this message, come back, you can trust us. And actually, one of the surgeons, a young black surgeon, incredibly talented actress, she was saying, look, I can't say that. It isn't true. What you want me to say. People are scared. People are worried, about COVID. People now are living in a whole new world of concern. She said, that's the truth. She said, people are worried. She said, I can't lie to them and tell them, come in and we're going to give you a brilliant procedure and everything's okay. What I'd say to them is, look, yes, we are at risk. We do have COVID. It's here to stay. Yeah. But we can't keep locked in our homes and lose everything that's to do with life and humanity. Yeah. Of course, we need to carry on with life as best we can, protecting ourselves. And yes, there is risk, but we will do as best as we can with that risk. She said, and that is the truth. Yeah. Well, honest with you. The honesty, right? And they took that clip of her and they put that out, and it went viral. Yeah. It went viral. And the hospital administrator said, you were right, doctors. People want the truth. Well, I believe right now, with selling online, with this wealth guru stuff, with anything you're doing, I think people don't want that fake, we're going to change your life. I think they want this next person who's coming, someone who's real. I think Ali Shahraki, he's the man that's going to deliver that. Come on, Ali, if you've got the courage to stay true, because you could change everything, Ali.
Nobody has the magic pill. Nobody can give you a magic pill to change overnight. It's a process. But you know what? I call myself agent of change. I love change, and I love to see change in people. I do my best from bottom of my heart and with my love to help you to change the way you want. But you know what? You're only gonna change if you really, really want to change. It doesn't matter what I do. Even it's like a driving instructor, isn't it? Like you are a best driving instructor. You go and train somebody, you give them all your best, you give them all your love, and then they go for a driving test, they fail a driving test, right? You can't guarantee them passing a driving test. And what do they say? They go and say, you were the worst driving instructor ever. But then they go to somebody else. They have one lesson. You done all the learning. You done all the teaching. They go to that person. They have one lesson. They go and pass the test because this time they check the mirror. They pass the test. That person becomes the best driving instructor ever, right? But who's done all the hard work? The first instructor. Yeah. Even though you think he's the worst person, that's the thing. It's all up to you. It's all down to you. The first thing is we have to stop to blame people. But we have to also find people with a good intention. There are people out there which they don't have good intention. The other day I had somebody came to our STUK, started a program for 3 days. He attended the whole thing. And then he was supposed to tell me at the end of that day. He told me 10 days after. He says, I want to get the refund because I'm not going to use that information. I was babysitting and I didn't pay attention to your program while you was delivering it. It's not my fault, is it? He's babysitting that time. But I said, you know what? If you are not using, I'm going to give you a refund. No question asked. I just give him a refund because I don't want his money into my money, because my money is a happy money, and I don't want the sad money mixed with my happy money. That's what I go for.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Ali Shahraki, and I personally, want to, I just can't wait to see Ali develop. And I'll tell you why. Many people only ever see the end finished item when someone's successful. Most of us only ever see someone making money and enjoying life at the end. They never see what you've been through, the mind warp, the challenges, the sacrifices, the growth, the determination that many of us have in making that business, our business, a success. It's only the end result people will normally see. Well, I can tell you it's hard work. It's not easy. So can Mr. Ali Shahraki. And I wish him every success as he moves forward with his Minds to Wealth program and the launch of his book, which I think is going to be an absolutely incredibly honest version of what is potentially possible if you don't give up, if you keep moving forward with absolutely all of your strength, all of your energy, all of your might. This is the amazing Minds to Wealth show, which will be going over onto Ali's own Facebook page just in a few weeks at Minds2 Wealth. Do connect up with Ali Shahraki. He's an incredible guy. Every single week he's showing up, he's learning, he's applying, and he is moving forward. And I can promise you, we are all learning something about Ali and his Minds to Wealth program and what he stands for. And in the background, he is cultivating and growing his business, his model, the way that he's going to deliver. And if he wasn't a caring and considerate man, then he wouldn't really care about the way that the program is going to be delivered. He'd just want to sell it to you, that it can change your life. But I can tell you this, he does care about the program, and he does care, more importantly, about you. All you need to do is care enough about yourself to take the right amount of action. But for now, I'm Bradley Chapman, and this is Alfie Best Business. And to take us off air is Mr. Ali Shahraki. Did you hear that, Ali?
Yeah.
Yeah, Ali's gonna take us off air.
Are we off now?
No, you're going to take us off air. You're going to say goodbye to everybody.
Yeah. Actually, you took us off air. Yeah, that's brilliant. Here you are, technical fault.
It's a BBC, Sky TV. You're on mute. You're on mute.
Guys, go out there, be amazing. You can do it. But you have a choice. Who do you want around you? Because who you choose to be around you, that's who you're going to become in the future. Choose wisely.
Goodbye, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you next week at 1 p.m. Take care. Bye.